We'll try out the audio here. See if can you close that door and get the dog out here? Thank you. Try the audio here. Just testing for squeeze play purposes, pretty much. I think I can bet like 13 cents here. It's probably more than enough. And I think I can min raise this king too. Whatever this guy called the flop with, he's probably not folding on the turn on table 1. So I'm going to just go ahead and pretty much give up. So, and he checks back. So I think he's mostly going to have like a small pair, 7s, 4s, something like that. Maybe even, I can't imagine he wouldn't bet an ace, but, oh wow. So he kind of slow played that ace-king, which is fine. Oops, what do I do, sit down here? And we've got a couple unknown players here. So this is, I just changed up my HUD oh, okay. Let me turn off, okay. So we get 3-bet. This guy appears to be a very, very tight 3-better. Getting 2 to 1 with Jack 10, pretty good odds, but we're not like particularly deep or anything. And this guy seems to be 3-betting really tight from what we can tell. So I'm going to go ahead and let it go. Let me know what you guys think, either whatever. I'm trying to monitor both chats and watch both the stream on YouTube and on Twitch TV. I've got both going, so I'm trying to check out and see what, what works better, what people like, and then if I can stream on both, obviously, that would be, an ideal thing. This guy I'm sure is stealing a lot, but, we can probably just let him have it with queen deuce. This guy appears to be pretty aggressive. If I had 9-10 suited, I would 3-bet, but I don't want to start getting out of line right out the gate. Let me try to see if I can get these numbers to a nice spot so they look good. Jack 7, just check there, see a flop. And I've got this player to act behind, so I'm definitely going to just give up on that. So we got that there, this here, and we'll put this right up here. All right, we got a bunch of opens.
Where's my cord for my charger? I need it.
There's one on my nightstand. All right, we can go ahead and raise this ace-9. This guy's relatively tight, so he should fold a lot. And he doesn't. We get a pretty decent flop. I feel like I kind of need to continuation bet this. And then up here, we're pretty much heads up, so I think Queen Jack's okay to raise. And then here, I'll go ahead and bet my gut shot on table 3. And that guy sits out, which is fine. I'm just gonna keep it at. I'm just gonna keep it at 3 tables for a little bit because I don't want to play too many tables, especially where I'm trying to explain everything I'm doing. And then also, I don't even know if my tables are particularly good. When I live stream, I like to kind of just stay at the same tables and talk about the opponents and how we can exploit them instead of just going around looking for weak players. But going around looking for weak players is definitely a solid strategy. Oops, I don't know what I just did over there. Go ahead and open here. on table 3. Fold those. So, any of you guys in the on YouTube, can you guys hear me? Did everything sound all right? The stream quality okay? It looks like the stream quality might be a little choppy. Let me full screen it for a second. Yeah, the quality's a little ugly there for me anyway. It's not looking so great. So I wonder. I don't have any frames dropped on either, so I could probably bump up my bandwidth a little. I've got it running at the constant bandwidth right now. So I could probably up the YouTube one a little bit. I can't do that while it's running, so I apologize, but I'll just I will just test that the next time I try this. And I also, you know, don't know how it'll work with somebody on Skype and everything else, but we'll see. Here we've got the fish. I mean, 8-7 offsuit's not a great hand, but I can still go ahead and isolate the fish with 8-7 offsuit on the button. These guys shouldn't really give me too much trouble. This guy hasn't played a hand in 10 hands, and it's sunny. Well, okay. He does go ahead and make a 3-bet. Pretty big too, so I'm not sure. Yeah, not sure what to think about that, but I'm not gonna adjust or try to fight back at all because I don't have any real reason. I mean, somebody 3-bet me twice. Okay, like that doesn't necessarily mean he's doing it light by any means. So this table on the lower left looks pretty good. We've got a couple fish to our right. That's always a good thing. And then we flop a open-ended straight draw. Then we've got a fish to our right on table 2. And a fish to our left on table 1 and to our right. So these tables look fine. As long as we have a couple fish, we're good. And we'll go ahead and bet out here. I think I can take this down sometimes. It shows a little bit of strength. Our opponent min raises, which, I mean, that's fine. I'm just going to go ahead and min raise a 6-7. That's fine. We'll call, obviously, with the open ender. And then see if we can't maybe get a free card on the turn here. I'm just going to go ahead and check. That might be wrong. Maybe I should be betting there, but and then he full pots it, so I'll go ahead and fold on table 3. Table 2 fold, and that's really not a great board to see bet, especially against a really loose guy. I'll check it back, see if maybe we can bank an 8 on table 1. Alright, and then, so our opponent checks twice. I think that probably means we can go ahead and bet. I'm just going to bet half pot. He should play pretty straightforward to that bet, even if he's like a loose fish. And probably raise it up here with king 6 suited against this fish over here on the table 2. And we will raise it on table 3 with our 9s. I think I can check once here on the flop and kind of play pot control with my 9s. I don't think I'll ever get called by worse, and I don't see a ton of value in betting those 9s there. There's really no worse hands that are going to call except for maybe a club draw. But the club draw already, you know, the ace-high club draw already has me beat. And now this player's betting out at me. So I think I can just go ahead and let my 9s go. Because if I have to call another bet on the river, it's going to be tough. And complete with the king 10 suited. Hit a king. Let's see. Generally, I think there may be a reason to lead out there. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but I guess I should kind of check and see what everyone else is going to do on this. I've got this player betting out full pot. And I'm out of position. Here we've got King Jack. I have the fish to my immediate left and the fish in the small blind. So if I can get King Jack against like the small blind, that's a pretty good situation. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up. If this fish calls, that's no big deal. I'm going to fold the King 10 here out of position on table 3. All right, well, we take that down. That's a perfectly, acceptable result on table 1. We really just wanted to get heads up with one of the fish, but taking the blinds down is fine also. Let's see how often this guy's stealing. Where is his steal? I don't see a steal. That's weird. But we'll go ahead and just we'll 3-bet it. We've got the ace as a blocker. If he does call, again, we do have the ace. And, so it should work. Here, I'm just going to bet out really small. And he should play face up here. I'm going to bet small, make it look like, maybe make it look like I'm trying to get value with my king. And he flat calls and doesn't raise, which is sort of strange. I would think if he had a king, he would have raised. Now I'll bet a little bit bigger. I'll go ahead and bet half pot and make him, kind of put him to the test here. All right, well, that's unfortunate. If he's got a queen, I'm going to be a little frustrated. But other than that, we'll just check this back. I mean, we could have the best hand here sometimes. Our ace could be good occasionally, but I think it looks like he just maybe banked a king on the flop. He had the kings. And then aces click kick gives us the old 3-bet. Ace 9 in position, slightly deep. I'm going to go ahead and call just to try and discourage this guy from 3-betting so much. And then he checks that flop to us, so I'm going to go ahead and bet it out. I'll just bet half pot. And I should have waited a little bit. That was kind of quick. But if he check raises us, obviously we can fold. And he checks and gives up, so I'm going to just quickly take a note on that. Because that's pretty exploitable. If he's going to do stuff like that a lot, we can call a lot of his 3-bets. So let me... And he check folded. What was it, like queen, 6, queen flop? Close enough. May not have been that exact flop, but it certainly was pretty close to that. Okay, so now we've got another guy 3-betting us. Here we're getting, similar odds. 28 to call, it's 56, 28 to call. Getting about, 2 to 1, slightly deep with 7s. I mean, it's going to be tough to play, but we have position here. Man, that's an ugly flop for kings. And here, I mean, he's going to have lots of, overcards. A lot of stuff's going to call. I'd like to check, and maybe if we can get, some sort of safe turn. That's not great, but it's not terrible. I'll check back with the kings here also. And, if I can get to showdown with these 7s, that would be ideal. If he's got ace-king and we get to showdown with 7s, that's a pretty good situation. I don't think this player would check the ace twice, but I also don't think there's much he can call with. I'm just going to go ahead and bet out 12 cents, see if we can get called by a ace-king. See if we'll call with ace-high. And, same thing here. I'll just bet out real small, see if, I don't know, if he's got something that can call. Maybe a 6, maybe he hit a 2. I don't think he's got much that can call, but I'll throw a small bet out there just because I think he has virtually nothing. I've got the last bet. I might as well try to something out of him. This player opens. We've got aces click click behind. I don't really love 3-betting here. I don't really love playing out of position either. I'm just gonna go ahead and 3-bet it because that's the easier thing to do. If it's easier to 3-bet. If he 4-bets, I can get away from it. If he calls, I can try to hit a set, and if he folds, that's great. So he folds. That's the easiest result, and I like it. Ace-9, I'll just flat call in position here. I don't want to encourage these guys behind me to squeeze, but I don't think they're necessarily that aggressive. And this is a really dry flop, so what I'll do is I'll call once here and see if he starts to show some weakness on the turn. Obviously, the ace is a great card. I'm not going to do anything like raise. That's a card he's going to barrel a lot if he's a thinking player. I have no idea if he is. He could have a lot of aces in his range. He could have a lot of better aces in his range, so I don't want to go crazy here. And this is a tough board. If he makes a big bet, I might be looking to fold here. Because, think about it. If he has a queen here, he's not, and I'm gonna let it go, but I'll tank for a second here. But if he's got a queen here, he's not gonna do this on the river. He's just gonna try to see showdown. There's no real misdraws, like Jack King came through if he had that for some reason. But yeah, and he had a set of twos, so that's fine. I think that went fine. Let's see. We've got this really tight guy limped under the gun. That's strange. I'm just gonna limp my fours actually on the button. I don't really want the pot to get huge. I'd like to be able to see a flop. It's multi-way. But if I raise, I don't want this guy who limped under the gun to re-raise over the top if he's got, a big hand. So I'll have to see what the quality of the video that goes up to YouTube looks like on this. Oh, here we can. I'll just go ahead and pot it, even though it's sort of like I should be 3xing it in that spot, but oh well. And here, I'm not gonna bet into 4 people on this board. All right, so looking around, my tables are still pretty good. I'm not really worried. That's interesting. Everyone checks around again, but wow. I've got a full house. If I can, see a showdown and win 18 cents with these 4s, that'd be pretty cool. Oh, this guy's betting out pretty strong, and I've got someone to act behind on table 3. And table 1, someone's going to have 5s or something annoying. 3 is nice, wow. So that worked out all right. No complaints there. And yeah. Man, these guys are all really tight. I think I can open here and just steal the blinds enough that this works. And then here I've got an aggressive guy opening, a loose guy calling. I'll just go ahead and squeeze here with the king-queen offsuit. I don't really want to play it out of position. I don't really want to play it post-flop. Here we've got 2 fish. I'm going to raise this up because, I want to play post-flop with 2 fish, even though I don't have absolute position. I'm kind of caught in the middle. It's still, two fish in a pot with me, so that should be pretty profitable. And this guy folds, this guy calls. A lot of hands you can call with it. Let me just go ahead and bet out. There's just a ton of worse hand. 10 jack, jack 8, jack 9, 6, 7, and he raises, which is annoying. He doesn't really have high aggression, although I don't really have any hands on him. I bet out pretty big, and he's raising, so I'm just going to go ahead and let it go. I think that he wants to show a set or something, or a bluff. I mean, he probably had he's either on a semi-bluff there, which is going to have, overcards, his flush outs. If he has, even, he could even do that with, ace-jack and the ace of spades or something. So it's not like a huge laydown. That's a pretty easy fold. Even though the guy's a fish, he doesn't appear to be, you know, an aggro fish. He just appears to be like a a loose fishy player. So if anything, I'm guessing that he's probably playing his hand pretty face up and making it really easy for me to get away from top pair. But again, sometimes it's not always easy to analyze the hand in the middle of it. So I'll revisit stuff like that during my review. I'll see what happens when this guy gets raised in the small blind. He hasn't played a single hand yet, but at the same time, it's small blind versus big blind, so I don't want him raising my small blind all the time thinking I'm just going to let him have it. And here, we turn the jack, so I'm just going to call down here. Man, this looks like a 6 or something, but I don't think he'll call even if I click it back. Oh, wow, he rivered the king. That's cool. Yeah, I don't think there was any value to be had from worse on that hand. We got aces on table 3. That should be cool. And queen 8, I'll fold. So fish right to my right, fish over here, fish right here. Go ahead and pot this up. Time down for a second, then raise. And ace 9. These guys are both tight, so I can just min raise this. They should play pretty straightforward. I was gonna say, even when these guys call the min raise from the button, I mean, it's not like it's terribly hard to play a small pot in position. And let's see, he leads out here for half pot. I don't know. I don't really have any hands on him, but I'll call once here. See what he does on the turn. He doesn't appear to be aggressive. I don't think, I mean, just from what I've seen, I don't think he's like triple barrel bluffing here. So I just want to call once, see what he does. If he barrels again, I can give up. And this isn't actually necessarily the, what's this one? Oh, wow. Yeah, I think this is the one I wanted to be using, this HUD right here. Actually, it's kind of nice. It has the labels. It's a little long, but it's got the labels so that when people are watching, they can kind of tell what everything is. Let me switch all these tables to that HUD. Nope, not that. What is it? 6max HUD. And 6max HUD. There we go. So, what did I do? Raise. So I'll just go ahead and bet out here. So quite a few more numbers. I know what all these are for the most part, so I don't necessarily need the labels, but I think it's good for when I'm, streaming or doing videos to have the labels on there. That way I don't have to explain it every single time. If you don't know what the abbreviations are, sorry, but the first 2 numbers are the VPIP and the preflop raise. If you don't know what those are, I've got stuff on them on like my website. There's a dictionary, I think, that has those definitions and whatnot. The other thing I would say is what was I going to say? Oops, gotta lower this down so the button isn't showing. This guy's only stealing 36%. That's not like crazy high. But it's pretty high. I can probably 3-bet him and make him fold a lot. It's like about average. I mean, 36% on the button certainly isn't like a high percentage. And this doesn't really hit my 3-betting range, but I don't necessarily really want to check it to him either. I'll just go ahead and bet like 32 cents. I do have a pair. It doesn't really mean much other than if he wants to call with overs and I get to showdown sometimes, I could win, but that's not going to be very often. And so he goes ahead and folds there, which is cool. That's a best case scenario. All right, so these are my VPIP and my preflop raise, the two first numbers on the HUD. These guys are pretty tight. Let's go ahead and raise. And they, if you notice, like, they both like insta-mucked, so that's kind of a good thing to know that they're not really completely like paying attention or necessarily going to be fighting back. If they have a crappy hand, they're just going to go ahead and hit the muck button, which is good to know. Obviously, I'm not going to fold to this. This is a very small 3-bet, and we have position. So, there's not very many hands he can be doing that with that it's particularly good. So he min-raised 3-bets, and then he checks it to us, which is really strange. I'm going to go ahead and check it back. And then if he checks again, I'll obviously bet. If he bets here, I might sometimes raise. Even though, I really don't have anything. Yeah, I'm definitely going to go ahead and bet here. Maybe he'll think I have the 7 or something. Man, everyone at this table is pretty tight. I'm going to go ahead and fold and then sit out on that table. Let me see if I can't pull up a new table on here. Go ahead and raise there. And it looks like, wow, he folded to that bet, huh? That's pretty cool. So I'm just looking for the loosest table I can find right now. There aren't really any particularly loose tables, but that's okay. Wow, I don't know if I want to sit. Man, that is just terrible. I'll go ahead and see. Man, I don't think he's going to call with a jack. Wow, this is really getting ugly. There we go. I'll sit on that side of that guy. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and just call here. Obviously, a 10 makes a straight, which isn't a great situation for me. If he overbets the pot here, I'll fold. If he just bets it up to pot, I don't know, I'll just call, even though he's, almost always going to have the straight. He's got a bunch of 2-pair that he could be valuing incorrectly, and he overbets, so I'll fold my queens. Sort of what I expected is that type of guy is just going to overbet when he has it and check when he doesn't. Whoops. Okay, go ahead and raise there. All right, so we got let's see, 3 tables up, not 4. Move that over. All right, we got 3 tables up. And man, this guy 3-bets again. Good spot for that. I've got this guy to act behind. Man, that guy's a fish though. And I mean, he's almost always going to call. I'll go ahead and call. This guy's almost. Oh God, he folds the one time. Really? I thought for sure he would call there. What's his fold to 3-bet? Fold to 3-bet. I guess he hadn't had the opportunity. Yeah, I can't really fold here just to 1-bet after that guy makes the squeeze. Like if he's got ace queen or something. I mean, there's other stuff he can have that hasn't hit here, and so I don't want to just give up on it right away. And I do have position, so he checked the king there. That's a little strange. He could have jacks, 10s, stuff like that. Ace queen. It's a little strange that he checked the turn. That's what's kind of making me suspicious here. Oh shit. That probably would have been probably would have been a bad call, but I'm just not sure what he's value betting. I'm not sure what he would have not bet the turn with that he had value. Like if he had and I can lead out sometimes here with these 6s, but let's say he had aces, he would almost certainly every single time you know, bet, and I'll check here, see if this guy will bet and I can raise. If he's got like a pair of eights or something, he'll you know, he'll have the you know, if he's got a pair of eights, he's like, oh, I got a full boat, I can call anything. You know, I could almost raise even more. It's just so hard for me to have a six that he's going to call almost, you know, anything, any pair. So I wonder if I could have even raised more. That was a pretty big raise, though. Oh, he called with the 2. I'm not so sure about that call. That's interesting, though. That just goes to show that, you know, he is a fish. That's another key point. Here, we got the tag opening on table 3. I'll just flat call and call it good, you know, just flat call there. We got fish, non-aggressive fish in the blind, so if, you know, if we can see a flop 4 ways in position with 7s, that's cool. I don't really need to be 3-betting these 7s when I have position. And I can let the fish, the big blind, who's a fish, into the pot easier. I think I want to bet out here to, you know, to protect my hand a little bit. I don't have to bet huge because I think these guys are going to play pretty straightforward with their hands. Like, you know, I'm going to know right away. Like, most of these guys aren't going to call with overcards because I'm betting into 4 people on a paired board. And I'd like to take this down now because pretty much any card over a 7 is going to make it very, very hard for me to play, even in position. So, you know, I'm pretty much, you know, going to get called by better hands here mostly, and worse hands are going to fold. But, like, he timed down, sort of suspicious, like that, you know, maybe he's got like 5-6 or some sort of 5-hand, ace-5, jack-5, you know, whatever a fish calls with. And now he's like trying to figure out what to do here with the king. Wouldn't be surprised if he bet. I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, time down for a second and act like I might be thinking about betting, and then check behind. And we get a 2. So now he's gonna think any ace is good. For some reason, I'm really like kind of worried he has a 5. You know, he just, unless he's playing on a bunch of tables, which he's not at any of my other tables, but 3-4. Oh, okay. He had a straight draw. Well, close to 4-5. Fold there. Good. Go ahead and call there. Maybe 3-betting would have been better here, and then he just checks to us. So I'm just gonna go ahead and try to bet and take it down. If he calls, I'm not gonna try to bluff him. But man, these guys are so they just give up a lot here. Obviously, you know, there's plenty of worse 10s that can bet. So I'm just gonna go ahead and c-bet. You know, bet out big. Yeah, any 10's gonna call. That's pretty much what I'm trying to get to call. I don't need to see a whole bunch more cards either. Obviously, the ace is a fine card. Raise the ace-9 here on table 2. And I'll just go ahead and bet again. Bet like 72, bet pretty big. Same thing, table 2, bet pretty big. He probably call one more time with a 10 just because it's like, oh, you know, I mean, again, not that he's a thinking player, but I mean, you know, the ace is just such an obvious barrel card that he may not want to put me on it. And with the fish and the big blinds, I don't want to raise with king 4 offsuit. It's just, I'm going to get called, I'm going to have to play a hand, I'll just fold and move on. Against this big blind here on table 2, you know, all I need to do really is you know, raise my good hands and bet for value post flop, and that'll pretty much take care of that. Yeah, this table's not very good here. I'm gonna sit out next big blind on this one, see about getting on a new one. Here's a fast table. These are kind of annoying, but they tend to be looser. So I'll go ahead and sit down. Is this reserved for me? No? Okay, I didn't get that one. So yeah, we're off this one, and then we'll go ahead and play these three. Because, I mean, this one, table 1 now, we've got a fish at. Table 2, we've got 2 fish and an unknown, so likely fish. And then table 3 was just the loosest table I could sit down on over here. So we'll see what happens. Is there any chat over here on YouTube? Looks like it's over in the. Looks like it's over here on the right for me anyway. But I haven't seen anybody chatting at all. And I know the chat on Twitch is functioning. It's kind of interesting. I've got 4 people on Twitch and 4 people on YouTube. So that's, I mean, I don't know if that's good or bad. It's about, you know, if I just fired up Twitch right now, that's about what I would expect to see. Did I not get a seat on this table? Is it something about the buy-in limit was an issue? I don't know. Weird. Pocket 8's going to be an open, obviously. So yeah, I definitely, oops, need to switch to 6 max. I definitely cleaned up my HUD a little bit. It actually, I mean, it doesn't look necessarily really clean. Maybe I'll switch it so it's 3 lines. I think 3 lines would look better. But make sure these are the right people. Yeah. But I definitely, I mean, I had a bunch of stuff on there, and it was just kind of a little bit probably more than I needed to worry about. So now I've just got, you know, pretty much the basic stuff, and then, you know, some steal stats, because, I mean, a lot of money comes from stealing in poker. So it's super tight guy here, fish here, always going to open, you know, going to open looser. I just made a video on adjusting ranges, and this is one of those spots where you would adjust to the loose side. So, like, my normal open is like queen 9 suited, you know, I'll go ahead and open like queen 6 suited. Now, obviously this didn't go super well, but you definitely aren't always going to get, you know, 3-bet here by any means. This guy's super tight in the button, and, you know, this guy's a little passive fish, and, you know, there you go, he had aces. So that doesn't mean that 3-bet or opening, you know, that hand looser was wrong. It just, he woke up with aces, he played it blatantly straightforward, and we folded. So it's all good. It's all good. All right, so no dropped frames. I can probably bump up my bit rate a little bit. Let me take a look at the Twitch. All right, looks like the Twitch chat is working, it appears. I got Kramer grind opening. I'll go ahead and call with the 6s. It's kind of dicey. Like, if somebody raises, it's annoying. But, I mean, we've got fish. He's deep. We're a little bit deep. You know, we can hit a set and hopefully, you know, do well. It's so strange that he seems to be checking a lot of flops. I'm not really sure. Like, I don't have his continuation. Yeah, he continuation bets like 73%, so it's pretty low. I mean, I don't know what he has here, but I'm definitely checking down. I guess maybe he's got like 10s. 8-7, wow, okay. So ace-9 normally wouldn't be an open here. Pretty tight player in the big blind. Tight button, just the fish right here. So I'll go ahead and open ace-9, even though it's a little bit looser than normal. Like, this is what we want, right? We want the fish to call, and we want to be heads up with the fish. So that's cool. We'll just go ahead and bet out. Expect to get called by a lot. You know, he's going to call with like overcards and you know, nine. He's going to have worse nines a lot. And he's going to fold a lot. So whatever happens is fine. And again, I want to get in pots with the fish, so I'll call here. He's opening and playing a bunch of hands, and I don't know for sure yet that he's a fish. I don't really have enough hands. 22 hands, he could be, not a fish. So normally, let's go ahead and make a small raise. So like I float it. If I were in position, I would just float here. But out of position, I'm just gonna go ahead and raise. And we'll see what happens. So, min raise there, fold here. Like, I mean, if he's got a pair like 5s through 10s, it's going to be kind of tough for him to call. I mean, he's not going to have a 2 a lot. A lot of times he's just going to have like king queen, ace queen, jack 9, 10 jack, just kind of random overcards. And it's good to try and get those to fold. So here, I mean, there's 3 players. A lot of cards can come. I'm just going to go ahead and pot it. There's just lots of stuff that people can call with. Any ace, obviously. Clubs sometimes. And 4-8-8 is not a great flop. I'll just go ahead and bet out kind of small. Let's, see if we can take it down cheap. One nice thing is about the math of a half pot c-bet. So like that exchange that just took place, I just won more money than he did. Like in those 2 hands where I raised, he called, and I c-bet the flop. I ended up doing a lot better than he did in that sort of encounter. And I'm going to call here because, I don't want to see a pot multi-way with jacks, but again, I'd like to get the weaker player in here. And I'm going to go ahead and bet here. Bet pretty strong. I think he like last time he checked a 9, or he checked middle pair last time when he hit it. So I would expect him to bet most kings and check if he has like ace 9 or 9-10. I would expect him to check those hands and maybe call once when I bet. So I want to go ahead and try and get value from those on the flop, and also kind of protect my hand a little bit, if that makes sense, over on table 2. King queen, I'll go ahead and raise it here to try and get heads up with the fish. I guess we got to bet, right? Like, there's just so many kings he can have in his range that are worse. There's worse pairs that he can have that are, obviously worse. He calls. Ace 5 just hit the straight. I don't think he's on that a lot. So I'm just going to go ahead and, bet out again. And hopefully he's got a king and he'll just call 3 streets. That's our goal, obviously. Is to have that happen. He folds. That's okay. So maybe he had an underpair. Maybe if we had, I don't think he would have put another bet in. Maybe if I checked back the turn and then bet the river, he would have called. But I think the answer there is just really to go, straight for just straight value. Just go, bet, and try to, have him show up with king 10 or some other, weak hand that he's calling with too much. Here, I expect, there's a lot of hands that hit his calling range. There's, like tons of, there's tons of stuff that he could potentially raise with. And now he leads out min. I'll just go ahead and call here. I think this is like, I think ace high is good enough. Yep. So I think one move, like I remember I used to do this occasionally. It was like this thing where it's kind of like, it's a little bit of a tricky play, but essentially you just, we're not deep enough. I'm not going to call the 3-bet. This guy, I mean, he three bets a fair amount, so even if I hit a five, like I might not be able to stack him in that situation. When like a really tight guy three bets me there and we're deep, I'll definitely call with the fives because he's got a much stronger range. I'm going to stack him much more often. But anyway, the min bet thing is kind of interesting. Like what you do is, and I think this is what most people are doing with that bet, is they bet out you bet like min or you bet really small on the flop or the turn. And if someone just flat calls that instead of raising, it tells you that they probably don't have that strong a hand. And then if you have the opportunity to bet again on the turn, you go and make a big bet and they fold. I mean, it's I don't know. It's it's interesting. I mean, it's not like it makes some sense. Like if you make a small bet and somebody doesn't react to it or raise or want to put more money in, there's a good chance their hand isn't super strong. So, I don't use it really, but I think that's what people are doing with it sometimes. Or I guess I could say like if you're going to use it, that's the only way I would recommend doing it. So we've got a fish here. I'll open my queen 10 suited. It's like a standard open, but I definitely would be opening slightly like looser, just because I've got the fish. That's gonna call a lot. Also, I mean, I didn't even notice this, but having this guy in the big blind isn't a bad thing either. And he doesn't appear to have a high 3-bet, but we're getting 2-1 in position with a pretty decent hand. Like this hand can flop all right, and so we'll call. I'm not gonna call this flop. He's gonna have an ace enough here that this wouldn't be a good call. And I haven't checked my winnings or whether I'm up or down at all this game, because I'm really trying to focus really just on my play, making the right decisions. Tight guy raising under the gun. King 10 looks pretty, but we can just let it go. I mean, there's no need. What is? Just curious. Okay. And I mean, how many times has this guy been 3-bet? Yeah, one. He's been 3-bet one time, so he folded that one time. That's crazy. Over 123 hands, he's been 3-bet once. I mean, he's tight. He doesn't open a lot, so I guess that kind of makes sense, but wow. Also kind of surprising. I have no idea how long this has been going. How do I get to... Oops, let me fold that. I want to go back. There's like a little like control room thing. Can I get back to that from here? I haven't streamed on YouTube much. I've done it like one other time, so I'm not exactly sure how it works. Okay. Live control. There we go. So what can I do in here? Not much. I don't know how to. I guess I could increase the quality by like raising the bit rate or something. It's saying it's like a 360p stream. I don't know if YouTube allows you to mess with that. If anybody knows, that'd be cool to know. But looks like I'm just streaming in 360. I don't know if I need a higher bit rate to stream a higher resolution, or because I believe my, let me see here. The one fish is to my direct left. I'm not going to open, loose here. Whoa. Make sure I raise my aces, especially against this guy who's really deep stacked and a fish. You can tell after 11 hands that somebody's a fish if they're 73-9. So that's always good to know. Here, I definitely want to bet big. There's tons of hands he can call with. It's kind of sick if he raises me there, but I'll risk it. again, I'm gonna be having a. This is a great spot to talk about. If you guys, if anyone watched my adjusting your hand ranges video, then this is a really good spot to talk about on table 1, like where I would adjust my range and open a little looser, because I've got this guy who, one, is, you know, loose and appears to be kind of bad, but I mean the biggest part is that, you know, he's loose and he's also deep. So that's a great reason to open a few more hands. And when you start really digging into, you know, why you're at a table and what you're trying to do to make money, that's the type of stuff that you'll notice. Speaking of why I'm at a table, see if there's anything better out there than table 2. There's wait lists at all these tables. Join this. I don't really want to get on a fast table while I'm live streaming. Fast tables are really annoying when live streaming. We'll just check. I've got a 9 high flush. It's nothing special. Join the wait list here. Yeah, I'll call that. And then here, you know, good opportunity to 3-bet this guy with Queen Jack. And I'll check here. Oh wow. Oh, and he 4-bets. Verse 3-bet. Damn it. We'll just fold. And I'll just bet out here. Maybe hit a straight or something. I don't know. Table 1. I wanted to see. Okay, so I need to go to like 3-bet. First. Can I click this? There we go. So verse 3-bet, he 4-bets like 15%. So does it say range? 4-bet range, like 5%. I mean, that's not enough hands to get an accurate 4-bet range, but I mean, it sort of suggests that he's probably 4-betting relatively honest. I mean, he's played some hands with me. I've got 560 hands on him. So, I mean, he's definitely played some hands with me. Whoa. But, wow, okay. Maybe, oh, wow, yeah, I'm playing, I'm playing a little wily at table 2. I'm playing like 40-29. Maybe just, maybe play my cards at table 2 for a little bit here. And back off on the aggression. But, yeah, as long as it's working, I usually just keep it up. What is beeping? What is beeping at me and why? Oh, you know what? That's... Yeah, I can't see the clock. Or I don't know, there's something I can't see over there when that's there. So I'll move it over. That's a good spot for that, actually. Okay, I'm just gonna flat here. I don't really want to go crazy and 4-bet. I'm just gonna play pot control. This guy's 16-16. He's only 3-betting 8%. I mean, that's a little bit high, but it's certainly not crazy. I doubt he's doing it, you know, like, you know, with any sort of crazy frequency, especially because I opened under the gun. And he checks here, so I definitely don't think he has got an overpair anymore. I think I want to bet to protect. I think he would have just bet again here if he had a decent hand. So I'll bet fold here. If he raises, I mean, what can I do? But I think he'll... I just want to bet to really protect. I mean, any queen, king, or ace is going to be very, very hard for me to play. And like if he has like, or a club or anything, so I think I can bet there. And if he raises, I can safely fold. But I don't want to just kind of check, because then I also look weak, and he may take a few bluffs depending on, like, if any scary card comes, he may decide to bluff, and then it's going to be tough, or he may actually have hit it, and then, you know, so By just betting on the turn, I can bet fold and end the hand right there. All right, I'll go ahead and raise there. So yeah, the table 2 doesn't look that great. Table 1's still fine. Table 3 is fine. Wow, what? I haven't been looking at that. Table 3 obviously, but it looks pretty solid. Table 2 I'd like to get rid of. So I'm going to go ahead and sit out, and then I'll look for a new table. Because, you know, even if I can squeeze out a small profit at a bad table, I mean, it'd probably make more just sitting out on that table and focusing on the weaker tables. Like, you know, if I had just not been paying attention or had 4 tables or 6 tables going, I may have been like, guy limped, just fold, but I might not have noticed that he was 85-10 and I want to isolate him. And now I've got the 30-0 and the 85-10. Same thing, like this guy has gotten into, at least 2 pots without raising. So, I mean, even though I've only got 6 hands, I still already know that he's probably not that great. Like this guy's played 85% of his hands over 20 hands. Now we get a pretty decent flop, actually. You know, we get king high flush draw. We got an overcard plus the flush. This guy bets out pretty small. I mean, he's giving us a great price, so I'm just going to go ahead and call. I have absolute position here, so I'm not too scared of seeing like a turn. And same thing, he bets small again, so I'm getting great implied odds. And we miss everything, so that's unfortunate. I'll go ahead and bet here, and he jams, so easy enough to fold. Definitely don't like how he played that. I mean, I'm sure he had a queen there a lot. So here on this river, we can definitely bet fold. This guy's going to have a flush draw a fair amount. But he'll also call a lot if he's got like a jack, I think. And then, you know, he'll raise if he hit the flush. But I think we can bet pretty big there, and he'll call with some worse hands on table 1. All right, let me try to get on another table here. I'll just go ahead and do the join wait list and take whatever I can get. Or, you know what else we can do is jump on one of these. And sure. Oh, no, I don't want, no, close that. I don't want to jump right back on that bad table. Yeah, let's go ahead and raise ace-10. I don't really want to get called by po' boy sandwich here, but I do have the fish and the small blind that I want to play against. So, and you know, we're fortunate enough to get a hand with him again. Here, let's go ahead and just raise it up. I think he'll play pretty honest. This is like, if he folds here like half the time, this is pretty good. So I think that's like a decent raise. I mean, yeah, he's a fish, but he's gonna like miss sometimes, right? Like occasionally. And he's betting again. He's betting small again. It's really could be. Oh shit, that was my bad. That was a misclick. I definitely didn't mean to hit the call button there. Oops. Wonder what he has here. What are we getting? Like 8-1? 8-1? What's he have? A 5? Oh, Jack King. Okay. Well, that's cool. For 8-1, we got to see what he's doing. He's just betting small with good hands. I mean, he's just playing poorly. So that's cool. We'll definitely stay at this table for a while till we can try and, you know, make some money. And we'll just raise up big. I mean, these guys are both fish that called, so we'll try and, you know, play a big pot with them. Even though, we're out of position, but our hand is strong enough here. I mean, we've got ace king. Wow. Okay. So, I'll just go ahead and bet out pretty big. Bet like 60 cents. I mean, we've got a gut shot plus the nut flush draw. And actually, I mean, getting them to fold is still the best the best option there, because technically at that point we had ace high. Alright, let me see if I can get on. Nobody wants to play us heads up, I guess, so. Had to sneeze. Luckily, mute button's right there, so you guys didn't have to hear it. Alright, let me just join waiting list again. And min raise here. Let me get off this table, so I'm not tempted to not take the first opportunity I get. Oh no, the 84-8 left. Oh, that's tragic. But you know what we could do is, oh darn it, I was gonna sit out and then move over to this seat, but you know what? That probably would have been dangerous. I might have lost. I might have lost both the seats, because these are probably people are on wait lists for these most likely. Oh, so far it looks like another fish maybe sat down, so that's good. Who's this guy? I wasn't referring to that guy. I didn't think, but he's only got 13 hands. I was referring to, oh, never mind. He's 27-23, so not too fishy. See what these guys do here. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and lead out. I think that it's not, I don't know, it's certainly not great to lead out there, but I kind of just want to take the pot down, and I do have an ace, so if somebody does want to call once, then I can pretty much give up on the rest of the hand, as opposed to like checking and then calling and playing a guessing game for the rest of the hand. There we go. Yeah, we can let our nines go here. This guy's pretty tight. I don't think he's getting out of line. Or, I mean, not out of line, but I don't think he's just double barreling with nothing. So it looks like maybe over here on YouTube I need to work on the stream quality. Bump it up an extra, big blind here. This guy's not he's like a half stack, so I can still get it in really easily. And here I'm gonna, I didn't want to necessarily pot it, but and I want to bet bigger than normal on this flop, just because I do have the flush draw, obviously. And now he's got less than a pot size bet left, so I've got two opportunities to try and get this last bet in. And if he's got a flush or a flush draw or anything like that, then you know, possibly we can get it in. I check it back. He checks it to me. I'm just gonna go ahead and shove. So, unfortunately, he folds. I don't know if there was any way to get any more money in there, you know, without knowing what he had, but I suspect not. Bet here with top pair. This guy's only got $1 left, but I'll go ahead and pot it here. You know, I want to build a pot. You know, if I do hit or if I do choose to make a bluff during the hand, you know, I want to make a decent sized pot so that I can accomplish that. If the pot doesn't get bigger, then it'll be hard to, you know, do whatever it is I decide I want to do, whether it's get him to fold or get his stack in. The other thing is I don't know how to see how long I've been streaming for, and I didn't pay attention to when I started, so oh well. Let's see here. This is a pretty easy bet fold. I'll just bet half pot and fold if raised or called. I'll be pretty much done with it. Yeah. I've got this guy in the small blind who may not know how I play. Aces click likes to 3-bet, but I don't know if he'll. Yeah, I mean he likes to 3-bet. Clearly he didn't, you know, account for the fact that I bet a little bigger. So I'm just gonna go ahead and re-raise again. Make it like 110. We've got a little bit of history, so hopefully he thinks I'm just trying to make a move. Unfortunately not. I guess I could have called there, you know, with position, but maybe I should have looked at, like, I don't know where I would find his like post flop c-bet and 3-bet pot, because I've got enough hands to have, like, you know, some interesting statistics on him. I've got you know, 1,500 hands on him. He plays quite a bit, so because of that, there's a lot of turn cards that I can do something with here, and maybe check raises. Why can't I see this guy's hand? Oh. I could probably get him to fold anything other than a straight here. I mean, right? Oh, no, guess not. Called with the 6. Darn. Oh well. Maybe I'll win this pot up top. What do you have? I wonder if he knew that his 2-pair, like, didn't count. Like, that he didn't really have 2-pair. He just had the, you know, he had the other 2-pair. I should have been raising a little sooner in that pot, obviously. Oh, I guess yeah, he had 4s and 6s. His 3 was counterfeit. I mean, I would have called there too, probably. But, yeah, if I had, well, I think I was, yeah, I guess I was planning on raising the turn, but then he didn't bet, so I probably shouldn't have bet the river. I think raising the turn would have been okay, but the river bet, I can probably just not bet the river. And I think I must have been going for a while here. Let me... Oh, no, I didn't... Whoops. I didn't want to do that. Whoops. I wanted to see a timestamp on somebody's name, and I accidentally banned them. How do I undo that? On Twitch. Oh, 600 seconds? Okay, well, he wasn't talking anyway, so hopefully it's not a huge deal. It's like 5 minutes, I think. Alright, I'm getting kind of worn out. Let me pull up my session here and see what we're looking at. Active session. Oh, okay, I'm down a little bit, but like a $1.20. My non-showdown winnings are up though, so that's cool. I'll flat call with the ace queen. This guy's pretty tight, so I'm ahead of his range, but not by a ton. If at all. I wonder what his under the gun range is. Yeah, like 17, so he's not playing terribly positional. He's only raising 22% from the button. That's wild. And then he checks the flop here. So I'm just going to go ahead and try and steal this, and then I can barrel some turns, you know, if he calls. Got like a backdoor straight, you know, I've got 2 overcards, so he gives up pretty quickly. So I don't know, I'm going to keep going for a little bit. This table right here is pretty good. I've got 2 like huge-ish fish to my immediate right, so I'll just keep trucking here. If I have to, I don't know, I mean, it'll upload as it uploads, but what, is the YouTube stream still going? It's only got the, I only see the 2 tables on YouTube. Let me, oh, play. Refresh it. Let's 3-bet here, and let's fold here. Man, really? Alright, well, that's a little surprising, but obviously I'm going to fold, even though I'm getting like 3-1. Not quite, but pretty good odds, but I gotta think his range is just way ahead of mine. Min raise here, and then I'm gonna sit out next big blind. Damn, I wanted to get some good tables. I apologize. These tables are kind of, yeah, not all that great. See if we can get on a different table here. Or let me actually see what's going on at 10-0. Because actually, I think I'll pull up my cashier here. Like, I'm not, my bankroll is actually kind of decent from when I was getting rake back, and I guess, like, I don't know, I got like some sort of bonus thing, so it looks like I've got like $172 or something. So I mean, I've almost gotten to my, like, whatever it was, 17 buy-ins or something that you know, I was gonna be able to move up with. We'll see what this is, and then we'll see what is going on. What? Wow, this is interesting. Let me just make a kind of small bet here. If nobody has a queen, maybe they'll they'll give it up. I don't know. This is pretty fishy. This is a pretty fishy bet, and the super loose guy calls. So I mean, I gotta check. He's just, God, I feel like he just calls so often. Oh my God, really? He's gonna do this like tiny bet again? He's betting 1/10 of the pot. I don't even know. I certainly don't want to bluff him, right? I mean, that'd be terrible. He's gonna bet 24 cents again. I'm gonna call with ace high again. He's gonna have a queen again. Oh man, pocket sixes. He definitely would have folded. Well, okay, I cannot say definitely. that's for sure. Okay, I need the 6 max HUD. All right, we got 4 tables going here. Now we're cooking. Remove me from waiting lists. And then I want to see... I wanted to see what was going on at 10 no limit. Okay, so 19, yeah, let's just look at players per flop and then, oh, 19, really, that's it. 3-bet this guy. He's sort of a tag, he'll probably, fold to a fair amount of 3-bets. King 8 against the fish. Well, yeah, we'll isolate the fish. Although the fish has been owning us all game. So I don't know. Maybe I've got the roles of the fish and the good player backwards here. It's entirely possible. This 10 NL table is like the fishiest one that's there, but it's like 19% players per flop, which isn't really that great. Call for my gut shot. Oh, I'm glad you guys can't hear this beeping in my ears. It is terrible. I hate the fast tables on Carbon. Wow, that's quite a raise. Two pair here, bottom two. Go ahead and bet out. Yeah, like what did you think this guy had? Like, this is the guy that bets 24 cents in the pot when he's got a weak hand and bets huge. Like, he's definitely gonna have it. So I've still got two deep stacks that are loose to my right at table 1. So that's really the table I want to focus on. Table 3 looks pretty bad. So where's the big blind? I'm just gonna go ahead and sit out next big blind there. And this table doesn't look much better, although I got Po' Boy sandwich to my right. Actually, this one looks pretty good. I got two fish to my right, so this one will work. Why was I sitting this out? Fold, fold, fold. Yeah, I'm gonna start mixing in some 10 no limit games, but only if they're, only if they're fishy. And none of the games look particularly great tonight. I could probably just not play poker and do something else. But that's okay. We'll play against some tougher opponents and see if we can, be more aggressive than they are and take down some pots without showdown and bink some sets. No luck. So yeah, I've got like a fair amount of money in my bankroll, so I don't mind trying to maybe toy with the sit in. Come on, I hate that shit. Exit. Top tables. This guy's bidding just about half pot. If it weren't 3 ways, I would call, but I think he's usually just, I think he's usually got a hand there when he's doing it 3 ways. All right, these tables look all right. I've got a couple fish at each of them. Jack 9 offsuit. I almost thought about calling there, but I mean Jack 9 offsuit's not the type of hand we want to be calling raises with at all. All right, King 3 suited. Sure, let's try and get heads up with Indiana Bud on table 1. Why not? Maybe he'll fold. A miracle. What is his 1 to showdown? Bet 18 cents here with top 2. I would expect, we should get called here enough to go ahead and bet pretty big. And the fish calling makes me nervous because he's probably got a bunch of like 4-7 or ace-4 maybe. 7-6 now. I don't know. Bet out pretty big again. I mean, the only thing I'm really worried about here are sets and 5 5-8 and 5-3, which I don't think are a huge part of his range. And now he just fires out pot. There weren't any draws on the flop that he could have. I mean, he could... Oh my God, are you kidding me? I'm so tired of that. Oh, killing me. Absolutely killing me. I was probably going to call there. Because I realized that he would play that. He would probably do that with like ace-10 or something. Damn it. I need to stop playing on fast tables. I'm on 3 fast tables right now. That's probably part of the issue. Darn, I wasn't having a bad session, but now I'm down a whole buy-in, which, I mean, isn't really that bad, but... These are good tables. I'm just going to stay at these 3 and finish it out. I mean, I've got almost how many hands have I played? 341 hands this session. Oh, that's how I can find out how long the session's been. 9:30 to insane. Oh wow, I've almost been playing for 2 hours. I wonder if I don't know if on YouTube you're able to. I don't know if on YouTube you're able to break it into 2 videos like on Twitch. I'm not sure. But, I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. Man, I'm getting no credit for my 3 bets. That's a really ugly flop to bet. Now I've got a gut shot at least, so... Go ahead and bet here and we'll see what happens. Yuck. He checked back really quick. Wonder if he was on a draw of some kind. Because, I mean, he, like, insta-checked the river. So, that's why, I mean, it just... The way he checked that quickly, it made it look like, oh, I called because I thought I could hit this hand, and I didn't hit this hand, so now I'm done. So, that's, you know, kind of what it looked like to me, and he ended up folding, so that's cool. Oh man, Jack Queen is just not the hand to do anything with. I'm doing a great job of not letting my red line slip too much. My you know, my non-showdown winnings are, you know, just staying right around the break-even line, but I just need to get paid off on some of my hands, I think, or hit some more hands. I haven't really won a big pot at all this whole session, I don't think. Let me see. Yeah, my biggest winning hand is like 99 cents. I've got, you know, 3 hands where I lost $1. I mean, no huge hands either way. I haven't like stacked off too much like an idiot, I don't think. I think there was one ace high call that was probably borderline, but you know, other than that, not too bad. But the way I found that my red line goes up is when I'm really like thinking about every hand, as in like if every hand, instead of just like thinking like, oh, this is a fold, this is a call, this is I almost every single hand I'm like, okay, is there some way I could get this guy off the hand? Like, is there some way I could play this to you know, to pretty much make my opponent fold? And I've just been playing with that mindset a lot more, and for the most part it's really been helping with my red line, with my non-showdown winnings. But at the same time, If you're going to play like that, you also need to be just as vigilant with, your showdown hands, and making sure that you're, if players think you're very aggressive and kind of crazy, like, well, if you that's how you're playing, opponents may or may not be noticing that. So you just need to kind of be able to decipher what opponents are playing straightforward against you, what ones might be getting aggressive because of how you're playing. And most of the time, I find that pretty much people are just doing what they're doing and not really paying attention to me. Like, if I see another regular, like, I kind of think, okay, this guy probably is going to notice that, I've been 3-betting a lot or something like that. But it still doesn't mean that he's necessarily going to, like, play back at me that much. So that's why I do tend to just sort of, like, aggressively 3-bet a lot. But I don't, I pretty much respect 4-bets. I don't think it'd take some serious history for me to think a guy was 4-betting light. I barely do it. I'll do it once in a while against a guy that I know is 3-betting a lot, but that's about it. And I mean 4-bet light. Obviously, I'll 4-bet my good hands, but... Okay, I don't know what it was just trying to do, but 8-10's just a little weak even to try and get in against the fish in position. One of the two hands I have position on AK 1989 is the button and next hand, and then he goes back to having position on me. So I do want to try and play when I have position on him, but 10-8 offsuit is a little weak. So hopefully we can 3-bet Po' Boy Sandwich here. That would have been a nice opportunity, because we just 3-bet him with, we've been playing aggressive, so it just would have been nice. But this is the worst case, to have, these guys both limp and then me raise, and now I can only play with the guy that has position on me. So anyway, I'll still go ahead and raise it up. He calls. Wow. Kind of crushed it. I think I have to check here, just because I crushed it so hard that there's very little he can have. I'll go ahead and bet out here. Maybe, he's not going to think I'm checking a queen that often. So now if he has any piece, he should be willing to call. And he just completely missed. There's not too much I can do about that. But I'm not trying to win like a minuscule pot with, a set of queens. So I need to bet at some point. And like that hand right there is a perfect example. Like if that guy had, ace king, and it was like ace queen 6 or something, like boom, I would be doubling up and doing fine for the session. So like that's the kind of like little tiny differences that will affect your sessions more than anything else, and they have very little to do with skill. So you kind of just sort of like grind, try to earn a little bit as you go, and then you got to kind of obviously play the big pots correctly, but in some ways you got to also hope they go your way. Tempting to make a squeeze here, but I don't want to play against this guy out of position too much. And once I get to like 400 hands, I'm going to call it a session. That's a pretty good amount that I can then go and like maybe review tomorrow for a video or something, or maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. I haven't gotten any leak finders, so if I post this on YouTube and you guys are interested, I'd like to do some more. Leak finders. So what I just looked at is, are there any fish in the blinds that I want to play with? If there's fish in the blinds, I'm probably going to call with Jack 9 suited. If there's no fish, I can just go ahead and raise and try to take it down. And if he calls, I've got position, I've got Jack 9 suited. We'll go from there. But that's just real quick down and dirty of how I kind of make a decision. Like, do I 3-bet Jack 9 suited or do I call it Jack 9 suited? Well, let's look at the blinds. Let's look at the guy I'm playing against. Okay, I can play a 3-bet pot with him in position. I don't really need to call and let one of these guys raise. So boom, 3-bet. And I took it down. So here, 5-6 suited, not a great hand. So I'll just min raise, keep the pot small. I expect to get called here. Oh, I didn't notice this guy was at 90 cents. But I'm fine with calling, like playing a small pot in position with 5-6 suited against these guys. But I'm not going to make it like 12 cents and try to play like a bloated pot and even in position. And here, I don't know what to do here. I don't know if I should c-bet here. I don't know what calls that's worse. But I don't know if checking is good because like there's so many bad cards that come. So I'm just going to bet small and hope they fold. But these are like the c-bet boards that I'm still not really sure about. Like, I mean, it'd be easier if it was heads up, I guess. But even heads up, like, or maybe it's more of a check because it's three-ways. But heads up, I would still be like, okay, well, no worse hands call really, except for maybe overcards. I guess you can always just be like, overcards call. And then like, make a bet. But it's hard for like worse hands to call, and like you're not getting like better hands to fold. I mean, I don't think anything's gonna call that's worse. Yeah, I don't even think that would have called. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up now. We're right at about 400 hands, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This was just really a test for Squeeze Play, the poker show, which if you guys don't know is every Friday night, and hopefully from now on it will be both on YouTube live and on Twitch TV. So until next time, you guys keep on grinding.